Hey everybody, Billy Robbins here, back with another Game Changers video. We're really excited to share our details. Well, actually, it's really from these two awesome folks here. We got Joe Dinoffer, the founder of On-Court Off-Court. We also have Kalindi Dinoffer, the CMO. And as always, we get together, we get to talk about tennis, pickleball, wellness, products, ideas, tips, all the things. Thanks so much for joining us.
Yeah, thanks, Billy. It's good to be here. I'm glad that we've developed a routine with these. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're in episode number 4. We're pros, and it's awesome. So we thank you guys for joining. We also thank everyone for watching, and we've had a lot of good reactions and feedback on the social media and different things. And so we just appreciate everyone being here. And then as usual, when we kick off, we love to have Joe Dinoffer, not just, world-renowned coach, but product developer. And I always love this because, for those that don't know, I help on-court, off-court with marketing and moving some of the products and things. And, to hear Joe share the stories, the backstories about where these products came from, how they've been used and all those things, it's amazing because they really are just innovative, effective, very tangible and practical tools to use to help you become a game changer. And so, Joe, what do we got today? What are you going to be demoing today? What do we got?
Well, I'm noticing thanks, Billy. I'm noticing the balance here, like I look at both of you with full heads of hair. And you got me in the middle with the reflection below.
Oh, that's nice.
All balanced.
I know. It takes a lot of money, barber shop visits. We did this around the world trip recently. My wife and I always wanted to sneak into these barbershops in Italy or Spain and say, what can you do for me? All right, tennis and pickleball, important stuff. Shall we start with the Start Right Grip Trainer?
Sounds good.
Sure. That's one of my personal favorites. I even like that product so much that I just happen to have it in my house. So.
And I got a dozen. So pickleball paddle, tennis racket, grips. Everyone that plays tennis knows grips are a big challenge. Pickleball, less of a challenge. But there's so many tennis players, and I don't know the exact percentage, that have moved on to pickleball, whether it's through the added length of the points or the more social atmosphere because you're closer to people since the court is so much smaller. But grips are also as important as tennis in many ways. You may not have the variables of as much ball rotation. It's about, maybe a third the revolutions per minute that you can put on a tennis ball versus a pickleball. However, because you have less time in a pickleball going from baseline to baseline is about 1 second. Tennis is 2 seconds for approximately like an intermediate to advanced intermediate 4.0 to 4.5 peak person playing level, hitting the ball 40, 45 miles per hour. It may seem fast, but so be it, So pickleball may not have as much grip change, but you have less time to do it. That makes sense. Tennis, you got more time, but still 2 seconds is not a lot of time to read the ball, where it's coming, change the grip. Really, you've got to react to the ball by the time the ball is crossing the net to your side of the court. You got to make quick decisions in both activities. So the question is, how do you do these guides? And over years, it was, with tennis, anybody that coached tennis or played, sometimes they'd had something like they'd put a pencil in your index finger, and depending on which way it's pointing, around, they assign a number. People went to pasting numbers on each of the 8 panels, which are on a tennis grip, and pickleball grips have the same 8. And then there's the old shake hands, but you can shake hands so many different ways. Some people do shake hands, they put their hand more on top, some people more on the bottom. So that's not so ideal. And then it's any number of grips. To find a grip in the old days, backstory is we would take duct tape sometimes and just tape a person's hand onto a grip. The most common grip that you can play tennis and pickleball with would be the Continental or hammer grip because it can work on both sides. But for topspin forehands, for example, in tennis, you need a major shift. So let's just see how this works. It's a simple device. There's a gentleman, peer of mine, colleague, named Rod Schroeder, who holds the patent on this and originated it, and he asked us to be his exclusive marketing partner. And what you do is you, the tab goes between your index finger and your next finger, so your trigger finger. So for example, if I'm going to do, let's put it on this bevel down here, and then we'll talk about how to use two of them also, which is a whole nother topic. So if I'm going to put it here on this bevel, it's going to help me get to that continental grip, for example. And a continental grip is just like how you did a hammer. And again, it's the only grip that really helps you volley without changing grips when you're closer to the net and have even less time, and for serving, because it allows you to hit spin and so forth, drop shots, defensive lobs, blocking hard serves. Continental grip is by far the most versatile. So we'll concentrate on that for a minute. People have trouble with the continental grip, and I want to explain why. In tennis, the serve is by far the most frequently hit shot in the game. It is at least 40% of all the swings at the ball, because you have the first and second serves, and the return of serve is in the low 30%. So since points only last the average of 3 shots, right, you can see the serve is the most frequently hit ball. Now, typical and recreational levels, as if anybody's a coach, they know this, and players should recognize this very well. They may learn that there's a continental, but when they take the racket back, then they shift and then hit this pancake flat kind of ball. And then the second serve they miss is just this poopy ball, because you can't hit any spins holding that semi-Western or Western grip on the serve. So it becomes much more versatile. You can hit spin, which means more arc over the ball. All these benefits. There are numerous articles and videos all over the place on the benefits of the continental grip. But there's one challenge that a lot of people face, and I'm going to share this now. Emilio Sanchez was a top 10 player on the men's tour. His camp, the Sanchez camps are
yeah, the Sanchez Casal Academy. It's awesome.
Yeah, they're in Naples, and also I think Barcelona.
Great people. Yeah, they have a few different locations, and yeah,
I should have gone there when I was in Barcelona. Didn't even think of it. Okay, Emilio, don't be mad at me. So his daughter was like playing nationals, super talented, but she had a minor flaw on her serve in that she couldn't get enough ball rotation, but she was holding the continental grip. So what was happening is the heel of her hand, I'll do it on this side, the heel of her hand was sliding. So I still have my finger there, but the heel of the hand still made it difficult. So what we did is we put 2 of these on, and that locked her in. So we found the place where we could put a second one, and it positioned her, and all of a sudden she hit spin like never before. So pretty amazing. You can do it on either side. You just have to play with it. So that's for tennis. And for pickleball, same principle, because when you're at the net for pickleball, honestly, it is just terribly difficult if you think about changing grips, and then you just don't have time. I don't know, Kalindi, if you have anything more to add on that, but it's just easy.
I was gonna I love this training aid, and just from the feedback and talking with players and coaches, whether it's for tennis or pickleball, like everyone loves it. We actually started promoting it for pickleball based on people buying it and then telling us they were using it for pickleball and really like it. So I was like, okay, sure, we'll put some pictures with pickleball on the website and do some videos. And as someone that plays tennis and pickleball and has the tennis background, and I was lucky enough to be taught by someone else in this webinar have a continental grip from the start, and I'm super grateful for that because I feel so comfortable with, you know, chip shots and volleys and drop shots and lobs. But, you know, switching to pickleball, it was a bit of an experiment with like what to do with the drive shots, especially on the forehand, because I have a semi-Western tennis forehand, and semi-Western is not really a good grip for pickleball. It's just, it doesn't quite work. So experimenting with more of like an Eastern forehand grip, you know, and that's where like something like this can come in, whether you're, you know, and whatever sport you're coming from or not. It's tough learning different grips and getting a feeling for it. Or if you're coaching someone and you're like, okay, yeah, you do this grip, but then they, you know, adjust it back. I mean, I think the favorite thing, you know, on the serve, I feel like, Joe, you always used to say this, is you would have a student start continental grip when they're serving, and then by the time they finish the motion, they're in a different grip. And it's like, you know, and you tell them, well, don't do that. It's like, well, you know, no kidding. They're not trying to do it, but this helps bridge that, you know, mind body gap to get a feeling for it. And they're little and light and just very easy to use and throw on. I mean, they also work for other racket and paddle sports. I have gotten into platform tennis or paddle as well. It's really popular in the Northeast. It works great for that. It works great for padel. It would probably work well for ping pong too. I'll have to try that. I play ping pong also. So stay tuned.
Might help. Yeah, there might be ways where it helps for golf and for baseball.
Yeah, it's, you know, pretty neat.
Yeah, for sure. Fun stuff. The main thing is these are guidance systems. So they physically, it's like if you're born with your teeth come in crooked. You know, Kalindi had braces, I had braces. Billy, I don't know if you had braces. Okay, so we're betting 100% our teeth were not the straightest and we needed some help. So the orthodontist could just put you down and say, okay, let's meditate on the energy of your teeth and change how they grow straight. But you know, obviously that hasn't proven.
I want to do that approach. So can I go back in time and do that?
Yeah, you had your challenges. So all I can say is braces are a guidance system. A cast on a broken leg is a guidance system. If you want to direct people to be in a certain line of getting into a concert or a bank or an airline or whatever, they have pathways designated and separated with these, what are they called? Those like traffic control bands where they, you know,
yeah.
Don't get me started on that. Well, I have a bad knee and I was traveling so much lately, and they have you going through this line like you walked, you know, 100 meters. By the time you get to the front, there's nobody in front of you. So I can't figure some of that out. But these are guidance systems that work for sports. Yeah. So anything else to add, or we can jump to the angle doctor, which is,
I mean, I'll just
arguably my favorite.
Before anyone gets scared to try a training aid, it's nothing like braces, we promise. Really easy and doesn't get attached.
No blood will be drained.
Well, I know you just kind of offhand mentioned golf, but actually, you know, I've been playing with a friend, and I like many amateur golfers, I have a bit of a slice, and he totally helped me fix it. And all he had me do was with my left hand was turn my grip in where I'm holding it in a different direction, which is exactly what you're talking about. And I could just imagine
right away your head.
Yeah, I could just turning that left hand grip, and as soon as I started doing that, it started going straight. And I could just, I mean, I'm going to try that out now on the driving range and just think about different positions, like, hey, could you hit a fade or a draw? And
that's smart.
Yeah, we might have to, including
put you on the tour, man.
Marketing approach here. So,
well, and
golf grip.
I mean,
right?
Speaking of golf, golfers are known for like it's great. Like they use training aids, and players will use training aids. And I feel like we've probably been talking about this for years of like, you know, it's just we're kind of like we try and be like, hey, tennis people, look, it's really cool. Like, you know, and pickleball people, like training aids work great and try them out. But racket and paddle sports is not as like historically has not been as into training aids as golfers. So I think that's something we could get some inspiration from. I don't golf, but yeah.
I'll be the test pilot on that.
Great.
Let us know.
I will. All right, awesome. Yeah, no, that's a great product. And I think you had one more, right, Joe? You get the angle doctor over there.
Yeah, this is I've always been excited. This is my creation many years ago, and I wish more people would get it because it's so powerful, and you can use it, interestingly enough, in conjunction with the grip doctrine. And it's specifically a tennis aid, Kalindi.
It works for pickleball also. Remember
Let's
we
try
had,
pickleball first. I haven't. So
yeah, remember we had a key partner, and we have the pictures on our website for it.
oh.
You just attach it. He just.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. Here it
Yeah.
is. So you just really wind it around on top of the hand. And maybe tuck it in if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. You just tweak it a little bit.
So what it does is it holds that racket in an upwards position rather than dropping and flicking like this for when you're up towards the net, to be a little bit more ready and faster on both sides rather than having to go down, up. Is that mainly what we're talking about for pickleball, Kalindi?
I mean, yeah, really the same. I don't have one, but I do have my pickleball paddle, so it's the same concept.
Yeah, I got it locked up.
Yeah. And are we able to, because we have a great picture on our website that I can show too, Billy. Are we able to share the screen?
Yeah, let me grab it.
Cool. Or I have it, so I can just.
Yeah, so basically I'll talk as you're doing that, but basically you got Velcro around the biceps, fully adjustable in 1, 2, 3 different places. And while Kalindi's pulling up that pickleball one, I'm going to put it on my.
I can share my screen. Yeah.
Oh, cool. Thanks, Billy.
Yep.
You were faster than me. So yeah, it's just wrapped it around the throat like you did, Joe, plus biceps. And it's the same concept because you want to be, compact on your volleys and not,
Exactly.
swinging down. It's not going to work. So this is giving you that feeling for it.
Yeah, and keep in mind, like if somebody is in pickleball, if you're on the kitchen line, your opponents, and you're volleying fast back and forth, we're talking about, maybe 0.2 of a second in between hits. So that extra time for a pickleball paddle to drop, if you let it fall, I'm going to stand up a little bit here. If you let it fall, and then you got to bring it up, and then you hit your volley, and then you let it fall, and then you bring it up, and then you hit your volley again, that is precious time. And that is going to differentiate a struggling intermediate from a really strong intermediate player.
Let me ask
very,
you,
very important.
So for someone who maybe goes online, buys the product, what would be, a drill or two, or a way maybe with somebody where they could, really initiate this and go over that? Would it be like get a partner and they just kind of keep feeding you the ball, so you got like the reaction time, or have 2 people that are both kind of with the device and trying to get, just rally in a volley type setting? What do you think?
Well, interestingly enough, that is the article that I just wrote for Pickleball Magazine, which is coming out in a few weeks. And it's called 3 Ways to Practice: blocked, serial, and random. And blocked would mean repetition. So if it's, we'll switch to tennis, I guess, in a minute. So if it's pickleball, for example, with the continental grip, then, you can hit against a wall, against an angled netting, like our, Rebounder Deluxe, whatever you want, where it's repetition, the same thing. Now, if it was serial practice, you would need a ball machine or a tosser or a feeder to you, right? And then a serial example would be 1 forehand, 1 backhand, 1 forehand volley, 1 backhand, 1 forehand, 1 backhand. It's a sequence that's repeated. And random would be the most realistic, which would be in the middle of a point. It could be practice. It doesn't have to be a tournament to be random. Just regular rally can be random. And then you see, okay, when I come from the baseline up to the service line, I hit 1 volley, my first volley, I can freeze and check my grip and see, oh, I did good, or no, gosh, I'm still, because if I come in with an Eastern forehand grip and then I try to hit backhands, I've got trouble or I have to take the time to switch the grip, which is time you just don't have. So grips are very, very, very important as they relate to improvement. So important improvement.
Yeah, just to add on to that, going off your question, Billy, about like, okay, someone's looking at a training aid or they get one, how can they, train with it? A really effective way, because what you're trying to do is you're using the training aid as like a shortcut to that mind-body connection, the kinesthetic or visual feeling. So let's say you're using a training aid like the Angle Doctor. You could, in one of the methods that Joe described, you can get out with a ball machine, you could get out with a partner, you could get out with a coach, or you could literally, could use it depending on the product, you could use it in a point or some variation of a point. And you'd want to use it for maybe, 6 or 8 shots, enough to try and like cement that feeling, and then take it off and try without and see if you retained it. If you didn't, put it on, try again, 6 to 8 shots, something like that. Take it off, try again, and just keep repeating those cycles until you're able to, do it on your own. And if you then, maybe you take a vacation, you don't play for a few weeks, you come back and you start reverting to those old habits. Okay, time to break out the training aid again and, reinforce that.
Yeah. And so we even like, if, I know me, when I play recreationally, I'll warm up for 20 minutes with someone, right? We'll just so it could be something that during that process, you're putting it on, hitting a few,
Totally.
taking it off, and, kind of almost like a part of your warm up to continue to reinforce that body mind connection that you started.
Absolutely. And I mean, some of, the Flex Trainer comes to mind, like that's a product that we're not sharing today. We'll have to do in the next webinar, but, I would use that. Like, that's a great one that could be used every time, because it's giving you that feeling for like being low and moving really in a really springy way. Plus you're getting like resistance training in. So then you take it off and suddenly you feel like you're flying around the court. So that's a great thing to
The
have.
Flex Trainer. Yeah. I'll say, and also a good training aid doesn't need to be used often, which is, it's like you're buying something that really you're not going to use that much. But if you think of it this way, if you take any drills or lessons, let's just say a private lesson for a half hour is 40 minutes, and the coach is relying mostly on verbal instruction, and he doesn't use training aids like this. Well, for that amount of money, you can buy one yourself, use it, offer it, and, realistically, you could show the coach how to use it and trade him, say, I'll give it to you, just feed me some balls, and we'll both learn and trade for a 30-minute lesson. I would do it, because too many coaches use verbal instructions, which is the slowest way to learn. Kinesthetic and visual aids are speeder. They speed up the learning process for sure.
And obviously for coaches, investing in the training aids, then they have them for all their students. And, just a student, it makes sense if you give them a great lesson and you teach them how to get the continental grip in one lesson, they're going to be like thrilled and excited and want to book the next lesson to learn the next thing, versus if you're taking a dozen lessons and they're still dealing with the same thing. At least if I was a student, I might think like, oh, I'm not making progress with this coach, so this isn't, a good fit.
Yeah. And this is,
speak of referrals, there's students talk amongst themselves. How do you like him? Are you improving? Are you?
Yeah, I mean, you see that in the wellness. My husband does neuromuscular balancing body work, and sees clients, and a lot of the models with chiropractics and different things is like you keep just coming week after week and you never get homework. And he likes to say like he'd like to see them that one time, then do their homework for 2 weeks, then have one follow-up, and then they might be all set, and then it's just the referrals from there, like basically trying to empower people. And that's what we're trying to do with these training aids, as well as empowering players and coaches to be able to take that jump to get to the next level of, wherever their dreams are.
Yeah, well, it's the name of the show, Game Changers. And that's what I love about it, is it's about what are you doing to change your game to see that forward progress towards it, right? Because if speaking back to the coach thing, it's not so much, nobody like wants, oh, I just want to sign up for less. No, they want to get better. They want to improve. And so whether it's a tool and this and that, you got to put everything together. And that's what I love about your story, Joe. Like you said, you invented that product. Well, the reason you invented that product is because you're a coach, like you are a coach. This is who you are, what you did, excellent at it. And then you had that intuition and that foresight to realize that, wait a minute, you know,
There's a better
this
way.
wasn't working. Now I got to add something. Do you remember even maybe some of the moments or times where, like, even this particular product, where like maybe you were trying to do something a certain way and then this kind of clicked and popped? Do you remember the moment where maybe you got the idea for this product, or any scenarios early on?
Yeah, you know, it's a little less specific on this particular product, other than we used to do a drill, Kalindi, you'll remember it, where you you take your hand, your playing hand off the racket so you can find the grip quickly, right, in between.
Yeah, I remember that.
You remember that one? Because I worked with her when she was a junior. And then we'd have you go down and touch the bottom of the racket onto the ground in between shots.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, which would make you, get to a lower playing height, which would keep the racket up. If you drop your racket, your wrist becomes very soft and weak. And in volleying in tennis, especially, well, pickleball also, like against hard hit balls, if you got a weak grip, I'll never remember this. I wish I could forget this match. So I was about 29 years old. I organized a championship for Montgomery County. It was outside of Houston. I was the tennis director at the Woodlands Inn and Country Club. We had 27 courts, indoor, outdoor, 3 different surfaces, one of the best facilities in the country. And as the years I worked with Peter Burwash, and so I organized this tournament because for my playing level, I had to find, being very competitive, I had to find places where I could have a chance of winning. So like I had successes playing players who are of a higher level will laugh when I speak like this, but like I played a big exhibition with like 500 people in Guam, playing the former #1 Davis Cup player from Vietnam. Now, of course, he was already 10 years older, so he was, probably in his late 30s by then. I was in my mid-20s. That was a victory, pat myself on the back for my low-level Division I in team tennis in Europe, satellites. And then another one was on the island of Kauai. I could find these little islands. So here was my chance to play the Mexican Davis Cupper, former Mexican Davis Cupper. And we know from years ago, like Raul Ramirez was famously a good player from Mexico. I think top 10 in the world, just a great, great player. And his name was, I'm blanking for now. But he was very competitive. He was not like so finely tuned. So we both started working out to play. We'd practice together. It was always very close. So, I was ahead. He pulled back, tiebreaker, third set, finals, right? And exactly what we're talking about happened to me. So I'm at the net, putting pressure on, pushing pressure on. He moves out of the way. Kalindi, you'll like this because you like your backhand more than your forehand, or at least used to. And he stepped out and just ripped this two-handed backhand right at me. He was in the middle. I chipped and approached deep up the middle, so he didn't have any angles to pass. And he just nailed it. And clearly, I took my racket back too far. And the ball flew off my strings and went out. And that was it. That was the match. So all I had to do was just take it short and put it away. And I would have had just one more Davis Cupper. Also had a win over an Austrian Davis Cupper in Austria. But again, they were all, like 10 years older coming back. I'm not like thinking I still have any chance. In those days, you didn't make money. If you made a few bucks here and there on a little money tour, it was like, wow, I made $100, Anyway, so this idea of, both not taking big backswings, controlling the angle, controlling the grip, it's key. That's all I can say. It's key. And this angle doctor is just a wonderful thing. You can adjust it down further for ground strokes to adjust new grips, because depending on the grip that you use, like a Western grip will lower the racket more, a semi-Western grip will lower the racket less, an Eastern grip will level the racket, and a continental grip will bring the racket up. but you can also break your wrist. So both the ankle doctor and even the Start Right grip trainer in tandem together can do wonders.
Yeah. Totally.
So I think I'm now done with this, and it's actually very comfortable, nice and padded. Happy to say.
That's
There we
awesome. Great products. Love the stories behind them. Yeah. So, yeah, thanks for sharing that. And up next, I'm going to move over to Kalindi, and I know you have some things in the wellness realm. That's the other thing I love. Again, on court and off court. Right. There's one thing about the on court things, and then it's the off court aspects, and whether it's mindset, wellness, and these different areas. And there's a great line of products on the off court side as well. And so, Kalindi, would you mind sharing? I know you've got maybe some practices for us as well as some products to show.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I feel like we just worked really hard on the tennis and pickleball court, so let's take a quick stretch break.
Yes.
So this is I'll call this part of one of my favorite stretches, which would be hard to demo on this webinar with my current camera angle. So I'm just going to do the upper body part, which is also super easy because we're all sitting down. So if you ever find yourself at a computer a lot, or really anything, because we do so much forward motion. I'll back up just a little bit so you can see a little better. So much forward motion, computer, driving, tennis and pickleball. Think about it. It's a lot of it's forward. It's, tend to have built up chest muscles, built up quads. The other side of our body doesn't really get much attention. And you tend to see then some people as they get older tend to round forwards like this. So this stretch combats all of those things. So all you're going to do is just open your arms out to your side like this. And we're just getting like a gentle chest stretch in, and we'll hold this for about a minute. Just because a minute is I saw Joe's eyes get really big there. See, the reason we hold stretches for a minute, this will help the minute go by faster. I was going to take you guys through some nice breathing. So let's at least do let's say exhale. Then nice easy inhale. Breathing helps to relax the muscles, but we do a minute because that's the minimum amount of time for the body to realize, oh, okay, I'm safe in this position. I can relax. It's safe to assume a new position. Really, if you tell people a minute and a half or 2 minutes, that'll get it to a minute, because we're talking about like an actual minute, not like a New York minute. That's really 30 seconds. And I was super guilty of this when I was, playing as a teenager a lot. Like, it was like the good old fashioned 10-second stretch and call it good. And I had a lot of injuries that I struggled with. So I wish that I had taken my time stretching. I'll just take one more exhale here. And let the inhale arise naturally. So I like to cue exhale first, because if you can let all the air out, then the inhale it comes naturally, like you're extending the exhale versus like, oh my God, the inhale, go slow exhale, and then just.
And Kalindi, holding your arms up, I'm finding, like I do the bolster stretch that you showed me.
And we can come out of that now. Yeah.
I'm just saying, like holding the arms up, I find a little bit difficult because I'm having to hold the weight of my arms up while I do it, like the tension through here. So my muscles are firing. So like if somebody has a horse, they could lie on the back of the horse facing the sun.
Yeah, so this is just a simple, one we can do at our desk, and also there would be easy, thanks for bringing that up, because there's easy modifications. So if it's a little bit feeling like too much to hold the arms up, you can also just have your arms lower while still seated in the chair, and that's going to stretch slightly different muscles.
Oh, right.
But also up can be like, you can turn this into almost a strength exercise, because you could do little pulses behind you, and then there's strengthening, the back of the body.
How about a doorway? Like my physical therapist, when I went through that shoulder injury, they had me holding a doorway in different positions.
Yeah, there's so many options, same like you mentioned, the one that you like to do where you can be on a bolster or a pillow, just lying in bed, open it up. That's, super, super relaxing. So yeah, many ways to get this kind of stretch in. And yeah, that's basically the stretch I wanted to share. And then, Billy, you mentioned products and our whole wellness line. And I realized that this is Game Changer episode 4, and I haven't shared my, you know, my wellness line, which is kind of my passion. I got into the off-court side and the wellness piece because of injuries with tennis, anxiety, all kinds of things. And, you know, did my yoga teacher training and mindfulness trainings and mindful self-compassion, and just, you know, really felt like, hey, like I want to share this with, you know, other players. And we came out with this really innovative line of a couple of really cool yoga mats. So this one is the foldable yoga mat. And it's really neat because you'll notice instead of being rolled up, it folds. So you've got that accordion-like aspect. And actually, Billy, do you mind maybe pulling up our website so that people could see what, you know, what it looks like fully out? Because what's really neat about this is usually, you know, a yoga mat is just a yoga mat. This is a yoga mat, but it also works as a meditation cushion. You can, you know, change the shape in all kinds of ways. You can add extra support, which we'll see in the pictures here in a second, extra support under the hands or knees. It can function as a long block. So yeah, so that's like, you know, one variation. And yeah, maybe just cycle through a few pictures just so people can see better than what I was demoing. Made from eco-friendly materials. It's super lightweight, so just easy to throw into, you know, a racket bag, bring around with you. You might have if you're already, you know, doing a yoga practice, you might already have certain equipment at home. But, you know, to travel, you want something light. You know, I've gotten great feedback. Oh, it fit great into my suitcase, super light. I don't need a bolster and a mat because this functions, you know, as both. So yeah, you can see some of the variations there, you know, different ways to set it up under the hands and knees there. It's, you know, I'm doing that, Joe, your favorite stretch. So I'm using 2 mats in one. And
that's
yeah,
like, as a bolster, you can use it too.
Exactly. So it's really multi-purpose, lightweight. You know, I'm super excited about it. You know, everyone that I've showed it to and has gotten their hands on it has been just super excited. And we also have a complementary mat called the Get a Grip mat. So this is it's heavier duty, also eco-friendly. It's extra wide, which is nice because especially if somebody is a little bit taller or just in general, I like having a little bit of extra space. It's very non-slip, super grippy. So, you know, I've had a partner of ours has used this in the Florida sun, and she said she accidentally, you know, spilled some water on it and it got more sticky. So basically the design is just designed to be really non-slip. Another thing that, you know, these mats can work very well together also, because I've sometimes put down my grip mat and then I've used the foldable mat either for extra cushioning or, you know, as a cushion, as a long block, as a meditation cushion. And another thing that I really like about both of them, and that was one of the goals in this line, is, you know, most of the high quality yoga equipment out there is very expensive. You know, Manduka mat, for example, I love Manduka mats, but they're over $100. So we really wanted something that was of that quality or higher, at an affordable price point. So it's under $70, and, you know, we have coupons we frequently give out, and yeah, do free shipping on them. And yeah, so, and if you're a studio or a tennis shop and you're looking to add to your, you know, to maybe a little wellness section, we do have for all of our products, but just sharing for these in particular, you know, we do have a distributor, an active distributor base and wholesale price list, and some of our top distributors have already added this mat, which is awesome. Big Sporting Goods, Lifetime Fitness, Go for Sport. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how things will evolve. And the last product that I'll share just complements both of the mats. It's our little yoga mat bag. And this actually fits both of the mats together if you happen to have both with you. And it's just, you know, fun pattern, has a great extra little pouch. And yeah, you can see there, both mats are in the bag. And yeah, that's basically it. I don't know if I missed anything, Billy or Joe, feel free to.
Well, and just if anybody wants this for a event, you know, where they want their event name on it, or a company where they want to have their design and their logo or whatever. We also do that with proper notice. We can have our factories make it, and we stand behind it with our experience, so they know the quality they're getting. They know they're dealing with a reliable company that's going to communicate how long it takes at very favorable pricing. So
yeah, absolutely. And, for those of you that don't know, that's a part of our business we've also been doing for many years, on the private label side. So, we private label for example, head pen, especially our portable pickleball nets are very popular in that department. So you might be using one of our nets and not even know it. And, we can private label for most of our products with, again, enough notice, meeting the minimums, but it can be a great partnership. And we love to do that. I mean, I think being a family business, we've always felt like we have this flexibility and adaptability, and we don't have the ego of like, oh my gosh, we need our information on the product. No, like, we're happy to, make it for you, and so that you can lean into our, expertise.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's a great line. Love the products. My wife uses them all the time, especially with the foldable mat. One of my favorite features, my knees tend to hurt when I put, when I'm on, it's just all the weight on the knees, and I love being able to fold it back and just in that one section and take some of the pressure off. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, great. Well, thank you, Kalindi. And let's actually talk about some of the some new products as well that are out. So I wanted to go over a few different products, this being the Topspin trainer. I'd love to hear, so we can't demo some of these products, but I would love to hear a little bit about the, the philosophy behind them, even some maybe stories about how they're developed, what type of person would benefit most from using these. So please tell us a little bit about this.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll intro it, and then Joe, and I think I don't know if I gave you any warning on this. I kind of threw in a mixture of like some of my favorite product, plus after this we'll get into the new ones, but I've always loved the Topspin solution, and it hadn't been featured yet, so I just kind of sneakily threw it on there, even though it's not brand new, but relatively it's amongst one of our newer products. So, it's called the Topspin solution. However, we have thought after the fact that we probably shouldn't have limited the name to just Topspin, because it works great for learning topspin, of course, but also backspin or underspin and slice. So you can see from the picture that, some of the possible uses, and it can set up on a chair, on a cart, on a fence, high, low. So you see, that's actually me demoing, practicing the forehand, and that's our good friend Emma Doyle practicing learning the kick serve. So this is essentially like the 2.0 version of one of our original products, the Spin Doctor. That's also one of my personal favorites, because it's how I learned spin as a kid, learning tennis, top spin, and it's how I learned a kick serve, which is still one of my favorite shots. I love my kick serve. So thought of that because Emma's demoing that. So obviously, if this product had been around when I was doing that, I wouldn't have had my coach, who also is in this webinar, have to hold the product and, patiently wait for me to go through those trainings. I could have been practicing that on my own. So yeah, I love this product. And Joe, maybe you can share a little bit about, the invention.
Well, it's actually sad that you have so many people who would like to be able to hit topspin, but they think it's beyond their capacity to learn, when really it's pretty simple. A lot of coaches take the approach where they'll change someone's grip in order to give them a feel for topspin, but actually people will learn it themselves and find the right grip. And they would go from this stationary tool. By the way, that arm, we have videos on our website of it. That arm is rubberized and flexible, and the ball is injected with foam. So the ball is not going to wear out. It's going to last a long time, and it spins very freely on an axle, extremely fast. The only thing I can think of that does, these little toys, these spinner toys, right? They go like that. It spins that easy. So it's kind of neat that way. And it just doesn't have to be that hard. You're not getting a PhD in topspin where you need to go to school for 6 years. and then, you know, maybe get your dissertation accepted. It's just not like that. It doesn't have to be that difficult, but words do not teach in sports nearly as well as kinesthetic or visual aids.
Absolutely. And I have had some pickleball players say that they've used this and liked it. It's obviously, you know, you have to use your imagination a little bit for pickleball because it is a tennis ball like, you know, device. But and while spin, you can't do as much spin with pickleball. It's the same ideas of learning top spin, back spin. So yeah, this can easily be used for pickleball or other racket and paddle sports as well.
Awesome. Yeah, it's a great product. This is a newer product, right?
Yes, this is actually a new product, not one that I just snuck in there because I like it. Like to keep things fun in these Game Changers webinars. So the Pickleball iCoach, we partnered with Billie Jean King iCoach, and you know, I'll let Joe share in a minute about, you know, his relationship with the inventor and founder. And yeah, we basically saw that product, which we also have on our website and have loved for many years, and wanted to bring it into the pickleball world because pickleball is obviously booming, and we have a lot of pickleball players asking us, do you have a pickleball version of this? So, you know, with this, the whole concept is you know, and if maybe we'll bring in Lenny for one of these Game Changers webinars, because he can really just go into like the brain and body connection and the eye, and I feel like I never can do it justice. But essentially, yes, you know, you're getting to you can play in your living room, in your driveway, wherever, because the ball is not going to fly off the stick, and you can get your reps in and you can practice all the different shots. But while you're doing that, you're developing the same rhythm, because the way it's designed is it's the same, it's mimicking the timing and rhythm of actual play. And what you're doing from a almost you know, neuroscience perspective is you're training your brain without even realizing it. So that's you know, that's what we're all about, right? We're talking about kinesthetic learning, we're talking about visual learning. This is combining both of them together, and you're training the brain to get a feel for the rhythm of hitting any pickleball shot that you want to. You know, it's adjustable. You can watch some videos on our website also to see it in action. And yeah, Joe, maybe you can share a little bit more about this.
Well, yeah, just to tie in with what we were speaking about earlier, you can use this with both training aids that we demonstrated, the Start Right Grip Changer and also the Angle Doctor, as well as the Topspin solution, the earlier one. And this would fit in the category of blocked training, which is where, you know, block training is the repetition that most people get bored with and therefore don't do it. It's the way to lock in whatever you want to work on technique wise. And unfortunately, if you don't get within a range of a technique that will help you, you plateau, and then you get bored, you don't advance, your friends might advance, and then you drop off and stop having fun. So the block practice, from my standpoint, should be something, you know, you admit, okay, I got to go through it to learn something new, but let's make it as quick and efficient and painless as possible. And that's what a device like this, or the Topspin solution, and the Start Right Grip Trainer, and so many of these, you know, kinesthetic quick fix aids, which they are just perfect for that. And you'd be amazed how much money you can save in lessons. There are plenty of people who need lessons. You don't have to be the one supporting the pro at your club. No offense to my colleagues. Use training aids, you'll get more students because they're going to see that you make a difference. Whereas most pros don't put the time in. They're still in the paradigm of speaking and talking you through it, which is extremely difficult. Extremely difficult. And a slow way to learn is by thinking. You want to learn by feeling and relaxing, not thinking and getting tense.
And you know, since we were just talking about the Topspin solution, and I was saying that, you know, with your imagination, you can use it for pickleball. So this ball does also rotate. So while you're getting the feeling and the timing, you can also, that's why you can practice a drive shot with Topspin and pickleball, or you can practice your dinks with a little bit of underspin. So it does allow for all of that. And yeah, just so much potential. I mean, besides just players getting it to, you know, to save money on lessons. Obviously, we love and support our coaches too, and pickleball coaching is, you know, is taking off. So just imagine, instead of having people, you know, if you have anyone standing in line, they're not, you know, they're not engaged. You can have this station set up, and you can have people rotate through what they're doing, and they can do, you know, just a few minutes of this and then jump back into the game. And then they're getting such a great mixture of live ball and that block practice, or even, you know, I'm just, my mind kind of goes in all these directions. If, you know, you're a recreational pickleball group and, you know, could have one of these in the, you know, in the gym next to your portable pickleball net that you pull out, and then while instead of someone just sitting and waiting to rotate in there, you know, they can be practicing, or they can get on this early to warm up. So yeah, it's an awesome training aid. I've used it a lot myself, and I really like it.
I just had a new training aid idea from what you said, Kalindi. I'll tell you at the end of this session.
Oh, wonderful.
I was thinking about announcing it so Billy could say, I was there when.
Exactly. I was there.
We'll keep it a secret, but we could have it launched by the end of the year with a little bit of luck.
All right.
We like to keep the mystery alive. You know, we have to keep people interested in the next Game Changer webinar. So,
yeah,
so stay tuned.
That's exciting. All right, now another big new product, pickleball slinger.
Yeah, last but certainly not least, this product launched in the spring, and you know, this is for those of you that aren't aware. You know, Slinger is an amazing company. Their tennis ball machine, the Slinger Grand Slam launcher, is super popular. One of the most popular, you know, tennis ball machines on the market right now. We have that on our website, and then, you know, they came out with a pickleball one, and that has been really awesome. And also because I've been part of the back end, they had me test out the prototype, and I was just floored when I tried it out. So I'm like, this is awesome. It does all the features. The price point is amazing. It's super portable, and yeah, I just think you know, this is going to be taking the pickleball world by storm. You know, it's just, yeah, I could go on and on, but I feel like in the interest of,
yeah, very affordable, high functioning, convenient,
yeah, it does.
And you're guaranteed your friends will think you're very cool.
Yes.
It does, yeah, exactly. I mean, it really does.
And what's more important than that, right?
That's very true. I mean, it does look very cool, because who doesn't want to roll out a duffel bag and then start using it as a ball machine? And you know, when I was play testing this, you know, had some players nearby were looking, ooh, what's that? And I've had a few people play test it, and it's just, yeah, it's a lot of, it's just a lot of fun.
Kalindi, word has it that you and Josh in Maine go trick-or-treating, even though you're 30 and 35 years old.
Well, you weren't supposed to bring that up on this webinar.
Well, there's a reason I brought it.
The moral, so we'll backtrack a little bit. So in Maine, there's a cool street where I think if you get a house there, you have to participate, and it's this awesome setup. And also, embracing your inner child is great. And yes, we dressed up as,
I think it's wonderful.
Avatar, the Nickelodeon series, which, by the way, if anybody watching this has not checked it out yet, it's not just a kid's show. It's actually awesome and super spiritual and very inspiring. And then anyway, and Josh had a whole mask, and everyone was like, are you the Avatar? So I think we made a lot of kids' nights that day too. So
yeah, no, I think it's great. And I started going out, but then somebody had, you know, the orange and black slinger as part of the Halloween colors. So somebody had that at their door if you were over, like, you know, 40, and they started pelting me with balls.
Yeah, there it is.
So it was,
and now
they're Halloween colors. They're Halloween colors.
Get them now before they sell out for Halloween.
I know.
So
I got my Halloween colors on too.
It could be a pickleball player. I mean, that would be rolling my pickleball slinger around, because it works like that. That, you know, like that could be kind of fun. Yeah.
You just take it and randomly aim it at people in the street.
Just feel, yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't planning to turn it on, and
Billy, you can't accuse me of not having my inner child alive, at least to some extent. So.
Big pickleballs filled with candy. Just shoot it at them while they're at the street. Just keep.
We promise we won't be using the pickleball slinger.
It'll be used, I can picture it with people like, when people protest and there's always the antagonist protesters across the street. If they all had slinger machines, they started firing balls at one another. That would be a relatively peaceful way to get your frustrations out.
I don't think this is like the direction that we are trying to go with the slinger.
That's what I love about Game Changers. You never quite know where we're going, and that's fantastic. We love that.
Okay, how about we can backtrack it a little bit? I mean, maybe instead of people fighting wars, they could just duke it out on the pickleball court.
Ball machines. That
would solve a lot. They get out their frustration first by playing against the ball machine, and then they can play against their opponent, and let's just settle it peacefully like that. May the best player win.
Pickleball slinger.
All right, I deviate
since the spring.
But anyway, pickleball slinger is awesome. So go check it out, and you see it next Halloween, you'll know. I don't know where you got that. Here's
where it first got. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, that's awesome. All right. Well, let's move on to our poetry section. So.
Oh boy.
I love this. I mean, again, this is what I love about this Game Changers is it's really the personality behind on court, off court. And I've had a chance to, know Joe and Kalindi for a while now. And I just love that we get to see the personalities. Joe has a couple poetry books available on the website, and he's going to read one of them for us. So take it away, Joe.
This is when you look at the Kalindi's skin color, and then at the end of the reading, she'll be more red. Because we're reading from a poetry book that I wrote. It's an accumulation of poems I wrote just about every year of her life, and with illustrations from a dear friend of ours. So the illustration on this one is called The Ride, and the name of the poem is Sweet 16. From the outside, Sweet 16, with a heart of gold within. You've got a great story. So even before I begin, I say thanks for coming along for the ride. You now stand 5'6". Your eyes are blue and green. Say, where's that little girl? Is she in there too? I say thanks for coming along for the ride. Determined and diligent, excelling in much, you astound, nearly touching the sky with both feet on the ground. I say thanks for coming along for the ride. Seems like yesterday I could hold you in one hand. I used to call you Monkey. Here's where she gets a little red. Monkey, before you could even stand. I say thanks for coming along for the ride. I'm so very proud of you with loving appreciation. You wrote a complex song at 6, all about separation. Singing thanks for coming along for the ride. Now starting a college class, you are driving in my car, still loving to read and write and learning to play guitar. I sing thanks for coming along for the ride. Most important, however, is the person that lies inside. Your soft-hearted qualities and love are magnified. I sing, remember to enjoy the ride. From the outside, Sweet 16, and inside a heart of gold, yes, you've got a great story, one that needs to be told. I say, thanks for coming along for the ride. Yes, let's remember to enjoy the ride.
That's beautiful, Joe.
She is a little pink in the cheeks.
That's so good.
I hope that doesn't embarrass you, Kalindi, too much.
I'm just now reflecting that I'm 30, and that was like 14 years ago, so that's weird.
Yeah, you're almost half that. I know. You're the only one who's aging, so,
Well, you warmed her up to the embarrassment by throwing her out on the Halloween thing, so you just kind of, softened her.
Yeah, you just went.
Oh, but you're in Maine, like that, it's such a unique state.
See, but Josh and I are trying to go incognito for this, and now if anyone in Maine that
now they know
Halloween sees this,
it's viral now. It's viral. They know.
I know enough people in Maine to ask them to post this on their Facebook.
Not to mention that our dear partners at Slinger may now be concerned about how
we're representing the product.
Say, why are you selling so many slingers? Well, we've got our secrets.
Preparation for Halloween.
Yeah, I mean, you sold so many in October. Why was that on?
I think that would be just such a fun thing. We won't do it because, you know, some child's mother is going to sue us for him getting hit in the chest and leaving a mark for 12 hours. But so don't use it to to try and hit
Yeah, I
children.
don't like that part of the idea. I like the rolling it around part, and then maybe like on the streets when your kids are trick or treating, there could be like a little mini pickleball setup happening, like with like our pickle net mini, and could have kids playing, and they could play with the slinger. Now that would be fun.
There
You
you
just
go.
go to a public crowd and just hand somebody a paddle real quick and just hit the ball machine and see what they do with it. Just see if they start returning balls.
How you discover the next pickleball prodigy.
There you go. Prodigies.
What would be really funny is you have somebody tossing, you know, like in New York City, they have these mines and stuff, memes, whatever they, and you know, have somebody inside, and then at the end you have somebody stepping out of the bag.
Yeah, and then quit the ball machine.
I mean,
comes out.
That did just get me. That just sparked my mind like a ping pong ball machine today. Speaking of things that come out of the pickleball slinger besides balls, when you get your pickleball slinger, one of the things that's really neat is it also comes with a ball tube to pick up your balls. It comes with a little phone camera holder so that you can record yourself in your trainings. It comes with a phone charger. It comes with, it's kind of like Christmas in a bag, and you can then put all these things in it. So
Wow.
we'll add some Halloween candy to the ones that, you know.
Fill it up with those big, what do they call those big sour ball things that are like this big?
Jawbreakers.
Jawbreakers, or a candy apple, and have the machine throw those out. That would work.
I was just gonna have it in the
Oranges, if you want to go healthy, just use fruit, you know, tangerines.
Yep.
I think, Joe, you should get out with the pickleball slinger and just kind of like play with it. It's, you know, just let out a little bit of that energy.
Yeah, I think we need some video demonstrations of these ideas with some.
I know, especially the throwing out fruits and vegetables.
Pickleball slinger works with all pickleball types, which is true. It's awesome, and also any fruits you want. So please don't do that at home though.
Right.
You're not held responsible.
The warranty covers fruit distribution.
The warranty.
Right. It also blends smoothies.
Oh, wow.
I think we're at the end of our line.
All right. Well, thanks for hanging out with us, folks. If you're watching this part, you really hung in. We've come off the rails.
Bloopers, but we're just
Yeah, the live bloopers.
Crazy that it's just going to be part of the regular episode. But seriously, go check out the Pickleball Slinger webpage, videos to learn about all the awesome features and distinguished fact from fiction. So
Absolutely, yeah. All the products that we talked about, they're all on the site, and we'll also be keeping an eye on YouTube. We'll be posting videos like these. We also have our other 3 Game Changers episodes available on there. So if you like this, go check out the others. Joe, Kalindi, I thank you so much for your time. This was an awesome episode as always. Have a great day.
Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, Bill.